Good morning. We're going to talk about social media and Ferpa in about 10 minutes. So most of you know what social media is. Just in case, it's any website or application that enable users to create and share content or participate in social networking. There's many open to students. It is fun to connect with others. It's cool to share ideas, music, success, pictures. It's in the moment and it's free. So do children really have social media accounts? I had to Google it. And in 2017, it showed that 3% of 5 to 7-year-olds had accounts. 23% of 8 to 11% had accounts. And 74% had social media accounts. What is FERPA? FERPA is the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. It's a federal law which protects the privacy of a student and their parents. The act was created to ensure that parents of students can obtain access to student education records and challenge the content or release of such records to third parties. The law applies to schools that receive funds under application program from the U.S. Department of Education. It's also important because it keeps student information out of the hands of strangers and respects a student and their privacy. So if you think about FERPA with some scenarios, I personally teach over 400 students, and I need to know all their names. I also need to leave emergency subplans. I'm thinking that I'll add a photo next to the class roster to help me remember names and allow subs the same advantage. Is this acceptable? Maybe. Ask your administration. If you obtain a specific written consent from each parent in advance, it is acceptable. A class roster contains personal information which can identify a student. It also includes an ID number. The photo and ID number are protected from disclosure to third parties, even classmates. According to FERPA, these rosters are only intended for instructor use. Subs can be considered instructors. Let's think about this scenario. A student complained because you left your gradebook open and someone else snapped a photo while your back was turned. The student photographer only wanted to brag about themselves on Facebook. So what just happened? By leaving your gradebook open for anyone to see, another student's family who wanted privacy for whatever reason was just humiliated or exposed on social media. What about this one? The National Honor Society needs a list of candidates so they can send membership invitations. But one of the criteria is GPA. You are so proud of your students you tweet it. Are you in violation? Yep. According to FERPA, it's inappropriate to provide any information about a student that's been sorted by GPA or any other piece of non-directory information. You can't even send the list to the National Honor Society. What you can do is send the invitation from your school without providing your national office the list. This gives students the opportunity to self-select by replying to the invite while you stay compliant with FERPA. Then you tweet out a general congrats to those who accepted the invite. So families want their privacy for different reasons. Maybe it's a family dispute, maybe the family's famous, maybe the family's under witness protection, maybe the families just want to protect their child from exposure. Whatever the reason, they have the right to confidentiality. So they're relevant because social media and FERPA, because teachers share their success stories showing their students working on an assignment they created. Some teachers share students getting awards. Some teachers share funny stories they have from the day. A lot of teachers comment on a video, tweet, picture that they find on social media, and sometimes teachers vent about their days. Teachers and staff can make mistakes, and this is why it's relevant to FERPA. If when they mention or imply a name or a location or show a student's work, no matter how well-intentioned, you could hurt their privacy. These mistakes would lead to a violation of students' and families' rights, and the mistakes could lead to a loss of your job, a lawsuit, or invasion of privacy. So according to Common Sense, social media is a huge part of our students' lives. It reads that students spend 1 hour a day on social media. It also reads that 3% of our students are creating, while the majority are just consuming information. In order for our students to be responsible digital citizens, they need to see their teachers model pro-social, creative, and good citizenship in the classroom. So why aren't we doing it? Well, I think FERPA and headlines scare us. The cool thing is some teachers are using social media to share their best practices, provide authentic audience for student work, cultivate digital citizenship among their students, and build more connected school communities. If you're interested, you need to learn more about the policies in your district. And you need to ask these questions before you post. Is there anything personal that can identify a student in this particular picture or in this post? Do I have permission from the family to post it? And is what I'm about to post, is that going to help student learning? Remember these things, they're really important. Pay attention to names or numbers on jerseys. Carefully review any picture before posting. Look at the background for any information or another child that shouldn't be disclosed. Turn off the location off of your phone before taking the picture. And review the policies your school or district has in place. For BCPS, we do have policies. One policy is they create really strong passwords for students from grades 5 to 12. I don't know what happened to the passwords for kindergarten to 4th. This probably needs to be updated in the county. But they have the passwords for getting on BCPS1. They work with software vendors that are fully compliant with Ferpa. They use a filtering software to prevent students from going to inappropriate sites. And they restrict application downloads in case you've ever tried to download something yourself. So this is how BCPS responds to FERPA. In the student handbook in the back, there are a list, it outlines all the policies and procedures for behavior and expectations. And then there's this tear-off sheet with all the definitions that tell you about what you can disclose. So the cool part is, instead of saying, are we allowed to put your student on Facebook? They just disclose it. They opt out. So these are all the opt-out things they have for you to look over, and parents can decide, is it social network? Do I not want to be in the news? Do I not want you to send my list someplace? Thinking about a policy change, I would think that, in triability, most of us have all tried social media. And the advantage is we need to be safe and professional. We all have cell phones, and most teachers are on Facebook. Many teachers post pictures and tag their friends. Many teachers use Twitter or Pinterest to lurk and get ideas. An idea for a change could be get a professional page so you don't accidentally post something that you shouldn't be posting. Complexity. In terms of that, teachers and staff are quick to tweet. We need to review what we're posting and look at the photo to make sure we're thinking of confidentiality. And we need to consider FERPA. I think someone needs to assist us with filing the forms. At our school, they're all stuck in a big binder alphabetically of the entire school. It makes it very hard when you're a special area teacher or even a classroom teacher. I think it should be organized alphabetically in a classroom list, or just highlight the list for teachers so we know who can't be in a picture. But it can't be a volunteer, it has to be an instructor. Compatibility and observability. We all know how to share and post online. Most teachers need to be trained on the correct use of posting with attention. Teachers need more information and skills how to use social media professionally before they're willing to participate. Maybe just watch a short video. By the way, I have a couple at the end of this presentation. After the students see teachers posting and being a digital citizen, it will be easier for us to teach them these skills. Leadership and several policy changes. Without proper training and support from our administration, we're going to stay at the adaptation stage. If you think about ACOT, most of the teachers will integrate social media outside the classroom using Facebook just to converse with peer teachers on their personal accounts. Some teachers will tweet success stories, and a lot of teachers will lurk or even like tweets, but they might not share their ideas. If we have training about posting and FERPA, many teachers can reach the appropriation stage quickly by actually contributing in a safe, orderly, digital citizenship way. So we need to recognize that our file collection of student data, and we need to make it easier for everyone to access it, for whoever opted out. And teachers need to create separate professional accounts for social media. Teachers need to model digital citizen skills. And Glenmar, again, we need to get a little training on how to post professionally. Glenmar, we need a little bit more tweaking before we start tweeting. Here's a couple videos. I tried to put them on, but the sound wouldn't work, and I'm out of time. So check these out in the PowerPoint. I'll pass it on to you, and the references are on here. Enjoy.